What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a game called Kenshi. Now, Kenshi is a post-apocalyptic RPG strategy survival game that's basically all sorts of things that are meshed together. I have actually owned this game since it was first put out on Steam Greenlight, so I've got a decent amount of playtime and everything in it, so I'm not saying I'm necessarily an expert, but I definitely know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and just get on into it. Alright, so I have been seeing people that are asking how to actually survive in this game. Kenshi is a game in which it doesn't hold your hand. It is the definition of a chaos simulation, a literal sandbox actually, because it's literally a giant desert with a swamp and stuff. A sandbox aspect where there are no quests, no hand holding, anything like that. You can literally lose the game within 5 minutes of play if things go unwell for you, which I can show you real quick. This is how easy it is for you to lose a game of Kenshi. So the way you lose a game of Kenshi is by running out of units. So you can hire more units, and as long as you have at least one unit, you haven't lost the game yet. However, once your last unit dies, the game's over. You need to start a new run because there is no way for you to make up for it. The game is literally over. I'm going to teach you guys how to at least survive in certain aspects, and at least get the bare minimum going. And this isn't a all-inclusive video by any means. This isn't going to describe every single strategy out there on how to make money or survive or anything like that. However, it is going to be some tips and tricks for you to be able to actually hit the ground running, for example, and have the opportunity to survive, actually have a chance of surviving in this game. So first things first, I'm going to actually start off on Rock Bottom, which is one of the harder intros. It's not as hard as Cannibal Hunter, and we are going to be using this as our baseline, and I'm going to be upping a little bit of the difficulty and everything like that. That way I can show you guys that this works even on higher difficulties, and it's something that is definitely a plausible strategy. This is about getting food in your belly and getting to a semi-safe location for you to start out in. So, as we're getting started here, we are going to essentially be looking for any gray numbers that are popping up on our screen. Gray number is combat that you are not actually involved in. A red number is combat damage that you characters are taking. Green damage is combat damage that you are dealing. So that is how these colored numbers are actually being put into perspective for you. So if you see gray, it means there's combat going on somewhere. If there's green, that means you're killing somebody or dealing damage. If there's red, that means you're receiving damage. So red bad, green good, gray, you might want to go look. Welcome to a post-apocalyptic world where being a rat or scavenger or anything like that is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. See a dead body, run up to it, grab everything on it. So starting off here, we are actually going to be looking for some fights. We aren't going to partake in them. However, we are definitely going to sneak on in there, grab a few things, and then skedaddle. People can get knocked unconscious, as can animals and whatnot. And if there is an animal that is knocked unconscious and you pull any part of it off of it, you instantly kill it. And this is a pro tip for later on. So if you're ever fighting something and there's like a bunch of wildlife that you're fighting right now and you barely manage to knock one unconscious, pause the game, loot it real quick, just grab a tooth off of it, or like the meat or the skin, leather, like anything, grab any item off of it. You can drop it on the ground, you can shove it in a backpack, anything like that, and it will instantly kill it because you're essentially butchering it while it's unconscious. If you see any like humanoids that are unconscious, you can loot them, grab their weapons, grab their armor, and now they're naked, and that is something you can do as well whenever they're unconscious. That way you're helping minimize some threat. Now if they're a martial arts expert, you actually just made yourself like, you probably just killed yourself because martial artists aren't anything to mess with, but we'll get to that later. With all of this loot that we have now, we are going to run to the nearest city. Now, if you don't know where all the city locations are in Kenshi, you can easily Google a map. However, I do not recommend it. Kenshi is one of the games that is best experienced when you go and explore for yourself. Now, I have been all over the map in all of my adventures here, so I know where everything's at, so I'm just going to basically streamline exactly where I need to go for the next city. And when you're within so much of a distance, you automatically figure out where the city's at in the game. You can just open your map and you'll be able to click on it, and you'll start running there. Now, buying a backpack is a necessity in my opinion. At least get a small thieves backpack, because it doesn't restrict your movement or anything like that, which I'll get into on how items restrict stuff in another video. But we are going to essentially use this backpack to grab extra loot for us to go sell and make more money. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the bar, and bars will sell food and all sorts of stuff. And we're going to go in here and we are going to sell everything that we just picked up, and we are going to use this money to buy food from the bar. Anyway, guys, I hope I summed up how to start off in Kenshi and how to survive for the most part and get that initial your initial foot in the door into survival in this kind of unforgiving game that is Kenshi. And hopefully you have learned a thing or two. Now, obviously, if you're a more advanced player, these strategies are stuff that you already know. But for those of you that are newer, by all means, hope you learned something. Anyway, guys, that is all I've got today. I hope to see you all next time. Have a good one.